And here we go again. During the last meeting of our Plugit user group, we passed a little ideas sheet around so that people could jot down any ideas they had for perhaps videos and presentations and that sort of thing. I tend to run out of ideas myself, so I've thrown it onto other people to give me ideas. Anyway, back in the meeting, we passed the sheet around and had over a dozen different suggestions for what people would like to see demonstrated. Several of the ones that were mentioned is to do with emails and browsers and that sort of thing. The one that stood out most and was requested by two different people was their desire to write a book or a novel, or just keep a record bigger than a diary perhaps. So I have had a scour and I have come across a little program which you might like to see. Just going to pop onto the internet very quickly, and the site I'm going to go to is one called Writeway, WRITEWAY, and the website is writewaypro.com. Say that again, writewaypro.com. Now this little thing is it's quite plain and simple, really. It is get product information, you can register, you can have resources and support. We click on the download button here and download Writeway Demo Edition. Okay, that's quite important. So we have a look at this demo edition, and we can see that it's Windows 7, 8 and 10 users. To install Writeway, you must be logged in with administrator rights on your computer. So really you need to be in your main account. However, you also need to put an email address in here. And the email address I'm going to use is abigailplugit@gmail.com, which is Abigail, our Plugit character's email address here. And we shall click download. Now you have a very simple agreement, and while I haven't read it all in detail, it is pretty similar to most of the ones we've read. The software is provided as is, it's got no warranty, the entire risk as to the quality, results and performance software assumed by you, etc. and so forth. Nothing really out of the ordinary or you wouldn't expect. So we can agree with that. And we can then click Save to save the download. Now, let us just, before we, well, that's probably finished already because it's only a small, oh, there it goes, look, almost finished. When we come back to the main page again, we can scroll down the page and we can see Download the Writeway Help as a PDF file and click here. Now, this is updated in 2012, so it's quite an old program, but there's nothing wrong with it, it still works. So here it is, right, PDF, it's absolutely massive. There is everything you want to know about the program, how to do and what to do and where to do it. It's all here, and quite good detail as well. I've taken quite a while going through this PDF and the help things. I mean, a lot of it I would imagine, and I've only used this program a couple of days now, but I would imagine as you come across little problems, look them up in here, and the answer is here, almost guaranteed. So let's come off the internet, let's close Writeway for the time, and we'll have a look at the program. It is a simple installation. If we go to the downloads, and we can find, somewhere here we can maybe find, Writeway, this is the Writeway setup thing. I have the one obviously I downloaded, I haven't deleted that yet, so I'm sorry about that. The Writeway setup, it is very simple. I'm not sure how this is going to affect my current installation, but I'll go part way through it. Right, as it says, Writeway is already installed on the computer, so I don't need to worry too much about that. When we do run it, it'll be the demonstration version, as it's sort of implied, and it does suggest when you run it for the first time that you actually register it. Now, I don't know about you, but I sort of don't like doing a lot of registry on this stuff, leaving your email address around. But then again, I am thinking to myself, I think, why not? Let's go for it. So I did. I registered it. I went into the help. Oops, sorry, misclicked it. That brings up the same as we got in the PDF. Somewhere here was about right way. You see, mine's not going to. It's not going to bring it up here. So I'm going to go back to the website just momentarily. Click and click. Now, if you register, if you look on the free registration here, you can download the free demo down here. But also, I can't find it just straight away. Just give me a second. 1 second. Download, register resources, product information. There we go. This is the page I was looking for. Now, if you look on the free version, demo version, all this lot here is free. Right. Additionally, if it's a registered version, you get numerous printing options, etc. You can export your book, RTF, HTML, PDF, etc. in the registered version, and you can create and publish ready formats for the book for Kindle and Nook. I don't know what Nook is, but there we are. So you get all these extra ones free. So is it worth registering? Click on the register again and look. Reading the text here, it says, when right way registration form appears, fill in your name, email address and fields provided, then always use the following license number. Right, and there is the license number there. Okay, now I copied and pasted that. I just copied it using Control and C, and that will copy that. Then I closed the internet here. Yeah, it didn't matter because I've done it already. So close the internet. I've gone into the right way, and where it says register on your copy, well, it won't be on mine because I've registered it already. Duh. Right, so if we go down to the help, somewhere in the text here there is register. I can't see it. Probably it's probably gone now because I have registered it. When you get the register, it is very simple. You click on the registration, you put your email address, your name, etc. in there. It's a very simple form as we just saw on the internet, and then paste in that number that was given to you from the website, and you end up with a full version. Now this is totally free. I'm just going to pop back because I was about to say, you can. I'm not sure about donations, whether they accept donations. I would imagine somewhere they do. Support. Right, there's quite a lot there. What I don't see is a PayPal symbol or anything like that. Just have a look in the resources. No, that's other books you can read to get to know how these things work. Free registration. There's the form, by the way. It's first name, last name, email address, and that license number there. All important. It's the number that we've copied from just up here. So it's not going to cost you anything. Right, so the demo edition that you just downloaded as a demo will be activated to be the professional edition. Now, when they were selling this, I believe this was around £30 when they were selling this. So, and what are you getting for your money? You're getting a lot, I tell you. Have the download page we've been to and all the little information, etc. We have registration, we have the resources and support. I can't see anywhere where they accept donations. Now, if I find out where to accept the donations, etc., I will see if I can add that to the video, but I can't see it at the moment. It is worth the £25–30. I have got other programs here. New Novelist is another one that I've used quite extensively, and this is the one. This is the one I've used up until now to do all my work. Welcome to New Novelist. One of the annoying things, you can't, I find it difficult to understand where I'm going with this, so it took a lot of learning in the first place. It's all right now. Registration again. Want to open an existing novel, right, whatever. So it's all here. However, everything in New Novelist, not in New Novelist, in Right Way, yeah, everything in Right Way is pretty much identical. It's already running apparently. So there we are. So this is it. We get it. Let's go into this and see how it works. Right, we can start by clicking on New, and that will give us a new book. And when we get a new book, we need a new book title, new book file name. Okay, so you may have a book called 1984 and my name is George Orwell, so we can put 1984 in numbers there, and then under the file name we can put 1984 in words, and it will be filed under that name. This is where it will get stored, which is the user's public documents. Now we can change that. I don't want it in the public. I want it in, let's go back and find users here. If you can't find this, find this a hard way. Okay, we'll go to our PC and we'll go to the C drive, and on C drive you have users. And in user, there's the public, that's one it's pointing to at the moment. Now if you go into Howard and documents and click open, then that will be the path in which it's using. So when I want to find this, I can go into my documents and it will be there, rather than having to fish around for public documents, etc. You can put a password on this book. The password can be whatever you want. I love writing short stories and books, whatever, you know. So that's that one. New book genre. So it can be horror, it can be romance, it can be drama, whatever. You can put it in there. The new book property is to be copied from the book. I don't really know. There's several things. So let's open a book. Here's one that somebody did earlier. It's called Cinderella and the Prince. Ooh, that sounds familiar somehow. So let's have a look at what we get. There's our opening screen, if you like. Well, it isn't quite as simple as that, but we'll come to that in a moment or two. So we end up with a dedication. There's Prince Rudolph, my one true love, okay? That is the part of the dedication. Now Frontmatter, which is at the top of the page here. Frontmatter is the stuff that you find in front of books. Acknowledgements. I would like to think that my critique partners, I'd like to thank, rather, sorry my eyes are terrible. I would like to thank my critique partners for the brutal honesty and merciless wielding of their red pens. Sounds dramatic, that, but yeah, fine, you can acknowledge people in here. Cover art. Here's Cinderella and the Prince. Jane M. Writer. So, fine, that's your cover picture. You can make that what you want. Cover page. This is that sheet of paper that gives you the title and who wrote it as you open the book. First page, pretty much. So, Cinderella and the Prince. Copyright. Copyright of this particular story is by Jane M. Writer. All rights are reserved for now and forever. Right, so it's not going to ever fade away, that one. That's a copyright intact. A dedication. Rudolfo, my one true love. Okay, that's great. So, as you can see by the titles on this, you can write plays on here, you can write short stories, you can write books. You could probably write an encyclopedia if you really wanted to do that. And it's all a matter of just these titles here. As you can see, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, as we go down there. That could be Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, etc. You name it, you're in charge of this, but just be guided. And this free sample of Cinderella comes with the book. So, you know, if you're in doubt, just refer back to it, have a look at it. It's so simple to open something else. Some really nice features in this. Let me just, I decided I would write a book for this demonstration. Well, I didn't, it was Abigail Pluggett, our authoress, who decided she would write a book. And I thought to myself, well, what's a good title for a book? And okay, so I came across 50 Shades of Green this time, eh? That's different. Again, we get the start off area here. Chapter 1, Scene 1, Chapter 2, Scene 2, Act 2, 3, whatever you're going to do, it's here. So don't worry about it not being so. Let us just first go into properties and have a look. We can fill in here the book settings. So we have Abigail Pluggett, 50 Shades of Green. It's a fiction story, obviously. And where is it going to be stored? Unfortunately, I didn't change it on this one because I hadn't found out about it. However, this is in the public document area, but there we go. Number of acts for each, number of acts in the book. Right, set the number of acts in the book to 3 or whatever. I don't know whether it'll take a bigger number. 26, no, I don't know if I'll do 26. It goes up to 9. Okay, so we're limited there. But I'm sure we could change that anyway. show act plot notes and chapter plot notes. Okay, show the scene plots, etc. So in other words, they're in here have the capability of formulating your book before you start. You can lay down your chapters. I want to introduce the characters or the opening characters in the book. I want to sort of put their details in there. I'll come on to that again in just a moment, because we're going to go there next. But down here we have default settings. My eyes, as I mentioned earlier on, are a little bit dodgy these days. So I need to maybe increase the size of the fonts here. So if I click on font size, so easy to just click, and look, the font size is now 16. I think it defaulted on this one as 10, and 10 is this sort of size here. I can't hardly read it unless I get magnifying glass and a pair of binoculars as well, you know. So there we go. This is the changes you've made. I've made it all 14 just for ease. 14 is this particular size on the side here, so we don't have to worry about changing that again. I can apply that change. Did you notice that straight away? These went up to 16. I think 16 is a bit big, so we'll go to fonts and just change it back very, very simply. That's it, and we've applied that change, and you see it shrink back. So where do we go from here? Let's see if there's anything else we need. I mentioned something there we need to find. Characters. Let me just go into the characters bit. On this we have Abigail Pluggett. Right, so lady is 73 years old. She was born on the 23rd of January 1946 and is an Aquarius star sign. Birth order, we'll put only child. Come on, fingers. Only child. Story role. Heroine, but she's the heroine of the story. Archetype, not quite sure. Physical, eyes, yeah, 2? No, maybe not. We'll give her green eyes. Hair, what colour will her hair be? I'll just put the alternative colour for my book was grey, but we'll put grey in there. Is that how you spell grey, or is it AY? I can never tell. Height. She is, as we've mentioned sometime before, 5'2" with eyes of blue, except it's not, it's got eyes of green now. Build. Okay, no, we'll call her slight. Okay, so she's got a slight build. She's sort of, you know, she's a, let's have a look at Abigail. Here we go. Oh, can't see her now. Oh, where's my picture gone of Abigail? Okay, it's not the end of the world. What I should do then is I'm just going to very quickly open up my Office, my Microsoft Word. Abigail, here's Abigail. Right, and I can just literally I've lost my characters again. There it is, back in. Right, I can literally drag Abigail, there we go, into that. Unfortunately it does drag and drop, it removes it from its original place, which I don't know why it does that. It's more of a move rather than copy. So when you are doing things like that, I just close the page now. Do you want to save the changes? No, I don't. I want to keep Abigail there. That's right, I've closed the wrong darn window. There we go. Oh, right, so open again. Let's open 50 Shades of Green. I'm getting too confused. I'm too eager to carry on. I don't think it saved it either. So anyway, here's the characters. Yeah, we've lost Abigail again. Anyway, you saw Abigail very briefly, but you saw her in the... oh dear, it's lost all my bits and pieces that I put in there because I didn't save it. I thought it was the Word document. How simple things break, you know? That's it. Anyway, let's press on. We've got a picture of Abigail here. We've put a birth order as story role and archetype, eyes. If you're wondering about these bits and pieces here, what to put in, a good idea is to nip into the free version here, or the free copy. And if we go into characters here, there's the authoress, Cinderella. She's the only child to heroine archetype. She's a bit of a waif. There you go, that's an idea. She has apparently got golden eyes. I've never seen golden eyes, but I have actually. In a horror story I did see golden eyes once. She has flaws, she has freckles, she has a scar on her lip from an evil cat's scratch. Nickname, she hasn't got a nickname. Cinders, I would have thought, would have been a good... I'm going to change that. Because it says so, isn't it? Cinders, that's it, hot stuff. So there's the story, there's all the bits and pieces. So let's have a look at this. Formative background, raised by loving parents and unexpectedly orphaned. Cindy has known the best of times and the very bleakest times. Something of a do-gooder. She would never want to upset anyone, even her own disadvantage. She has often relied on her parents' kindness and now the kindness of strangers. Okay, so romantic background, innocent, never been kissed. Cindy longs for a family of her own, but she's shy with men. Her friends, she has no friends, except animals that keep her spirits in the dark times. Enemies, stepmother and stepsisters. We all know Cinderella's story, so there you go. Greatest fear, that life would... right, I can go on here just reading, but you can do that yourself when you downloaded the program, etc. So I'm going to close that. Let's go back to the other latest novel, hot off the press. Don't want to change it? Yeah, we might as well save that. So we've done that. We're going to start putting our storyline. There's a few little bits and pieces up here. Find is very good. If you've mentioned something during your story that you want to find again, maybe you put a date in, or maybe you've got a particular instance at a certain place and you want to find it. If by the time you've written 50, 60, 70 pages in your novel, it may be difficult to wade through. So there you are, put find in. This little button here, the red blob, this is quite clever because you can actually put completed manuscript. Now I have several books under my belt, although they're not published, but the average sort of wordage is more like 72,000 words in the book. So we can apply that, and if we have a look now, look at this, less than 1% of the wordage in my book has been completed. So as you progress that, let's change that a bit. Let's go back to we'll go back to 1,000, I think, rather than anything else, and we'll apply that, close that, and look, we can see a little bit of the pie chart coming there. So it will keep you informed of roughly how many words you've done. Let's go into that again. Daily chart, this will show you what you've done today. A daily log shows you that sort of thing. Work days, Monday through Saturday, I don't know, whatever your work days are. I'll close that, come back to somewhere else in a moment. Properties, that's easy enough. Research, if you have to go out and research something in your book and you want to get the facts written down, you can attach them to your book you're writing just by clicking on the research folders. We can add a file here. If we downloaded something off the internet, we can just copy and paste it into there. So we can add another folder here. The new name for the folder is researching cost of paint, I suppose, in my book. There we go, cost of paint, and you can put in there different suppliers, who's supplying what colours, what shades. There are 50 shades of green apparently in my book, so there we go, that's good. We can save the document, and that will save any of the changes that I've done so far. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a look at this drivel that I've written. Scene 1. Here it is. My story begins with a colour chart from my logo, and I've spelt it in American. Now that was deliberate. We spell colour in the UK COLOUR from my DIY store. Right, I don't want to sit and read that all the time. I want to know what this sounds like from another person's perspective. So let's have a look. We'll pop into here, and I'm going to do something which I've never seen in one of these things before, and listen to my book. Okay, we can choose an English lady or an American lady. Let's go for the American lady, United States, and see what she has to say. I'm hoping this will come out fairly loud. If you hear a bit of rustling, it's because I'll be messing around with the microphone.
My story begins with a color chart from my local DIY store. I wanted to paint the parlor but couldn't make up my mind which shade of green to use. I deliberated, and tried to focus my mind on what the parlor would look like when it was finished. Was it to be dark green, or light green, or simply emerald green? Oh my God, I thought, what if I choose the wrong green? Will I ever live it down?
Okay, so it's a load of rubbish, yes, admittedly, but that is the story so far. That is the opening sequence of this book. And look, I can get it read. I have to say that the English voice is the English.
My story begins with a color chart from my local DIY store. I wanted to paint the parlor but couldn't make up my mind.
Right, so it's awfully decent. It's a lovely accent. It's a lovely sort of English rose accent, if you like. That's irrelevant because this is the book, and you know, if you start at chapter 1 and go right through to chapter 47, page 63, you don't listen to the whole book. Obviously on the top here we've got different options. We can print it out quite simply. We can export it to somewhere else. I don't know where else you'd want to export it to, probably a PDF or something. HTML, Microsoft Word document. There we go, we could export it to a Microsoft Word document. I haven't done this, so in fact we can do docx quite. So where should we put it? Exports. Okay, I'll go with that. 50 Shades of Green doc. There, go on. The file is exported to somewhere. I'll find that later on. I'm not sure where it is. So we can close that particular part. Chapter 2 I haven't started yet, but there are so many things in here which we can use to help us writing this novel, this book. You don't have to be a novelist. This book, this actual program was pieced together by a group of professional writers, people who have had books published, and people who know the writing career, if you want to say it a better way. So this is really good. Characters we've looked at, searches, properties, storyboard. Now, obviously when you're laying out your story, chapter 1, chapter 2, act 2, act 3, etc., when you're laying it out, you know roughly where you're going to go with it. So, starts in a paint store, selecting a color chart. There we go, that's the story start. Chapter 2, the first application of the undercoat might be handy to go on there. And so we would progress through the book. It's all well documented. Do you want to save that? Yeah, of course I want to save. I want to save everything I do. So it's all very good. Let me just open the book again. Just to, oh, sorry, wrong book there. Yeah, Cinderella and the Prince. I did find somewhere, possibly the properties. Yeah, draft settings. This will be your layout settings. It can be letter. I think we prefer A4 nowadays because I don't think people use letter too much. The standard default type. Now, it's set here as New Times Roman. Some people find that difficult to read, and it can be a little bit harrowing if you're trying to read something and you don't really like the script. The one I found probably more useful and more relaxing on the eye, certainly, especially if you're reading a book, is Arial. Gosh. There it is. I thought I'd passed it then just for a minute. So I've got Arial narrow, Arial italic. Just go for the regular 14 point and we can click OK on that. Fine. Margins, you can put the margins, you can set them for what you want. The default left tab stops at position 5. Okay, great. Draft settings, manuscript settings. Now this is the way you would send it to your publisher, or at least to be proofread. So there's not, it's not too difficult. It's a little bit maybe technical in as much as and title, stroke, and author. So you've got title and the author on each page, and page number, and add the date as well. So let's have a preview of that. There we go. Cinderella, Jane M. Writer, page 1, the date. It's fairly simple when you look at it like that. What else have we got here? Right, color cards. Now each thing you do, plot, conflict, character, scene, sketch, settings, dialogue, romance, suspense, subplot, revision, are all in the notes as a different color legend on it. People change them. I know there's a lot of people certainly if you go on the internet and do a search, a YouTube search for this Right Way Pro, one guy explains why he's changed this. He thinks these are too bright. Probably the romance is pink. It's an association pink with romance. If you don't like that, so we can change that to whatever we want really. We can just simple as, let's make it brownish, browny orange. There you go, brown even itself. Okay, so okay that. We now have this brown colour for romance. And that's how easy it is to change it. It's just a matter of clicking on it. I want to change, I want to exit. Yes, I do. Right. So that is a brief overview of the actual book itself, how to write the book. Let's have a look at some of the menus very quickly. New book, open book, closed book, recent books that you had, maybe you've got a dozen, you want to pinch a bit out of them. Snapshot, delete a book. Can't imagine anybody ever doing that. Import book chapters from maybe another program, whatever. And so we can go down the list. You can read these yourself. It's quite straightforward. Opening the last active chapter. That's handy because, yeah, we can open it up and it'll take us straight there. Just put that back on. Thank you. Unfortunately, it does pop out of the menu every time you make a change, which I find annoying. However, it's not the end of the world. Set up Frontmatter pages and delete dedication page. This is the book. Edit. Very similar menu there. You can choose US dictionary or you can choose UK English dictionary. Italian, French, Dutch, Portuguese. That's got quite a lot in there. View. Show full screen. Hide the main titles, show the rulers, etc. Word count, this is very interesting. Word count report. There's the word count. My book contains, the Cinderella book contains 567 words on 190 lines and 20 pages. That's interesting. Let's go back to that view. Word usage. This I found quite fascinating. Word usage analysis. Show all used words. Right, it says there's no words. Preview. There we go. The word that has been used 8 times. Had has been used 8 times. And for had been used 8 times. With and was were used 7 times each. And you can see on the list here, stepmother was used 4 times. Rella was 4 times. Prince, place, now, not, from. Right, so if you think you need to keep it, if maybe you're sounding a bit repetitive when it comes to your book, have a look at that. It's in the view window and it's the word usage analysis. Word count tracking. There you go, there's a lovely little graph there. I do agree with the guy on who did another YouTube video on this program. Why have you got such small letters here? And I think that's probably changeable by the default settings and stuff. And the same with the little manuscript pie chart here. Does it matter? We wouldn't use this too much, and I'm sure that if you really wanted to read that, you'd find a way of doing it. Again, daily charts, daily log, and work days. It seems that when they've put this together, they've covered all eventualities of what people might want. Not that they will want, but what they might want as well. Can't read that. That is bad. Maximize all forms. Okay, position to layout. There we go. Maximized. They're all big. They're all as big as you can get. Do we need that? I don't know if we do or not. That's it. We'll keep this. It's not maximum because we have this little bit of space either side. Now that's handy if you've got another application open in the background. It gives you somewhere to put it. Anyway, I could go on for quite a considerable time just looking at this. Help. It has a tutorial. I believe this is on right. These are the Right Way tutorials. Introduction. You can click on it. And right, it isn't available because I think probably they've probably been removed because of it. It's been a long time there. I don't know. However, I will say to you that if you go to the download page and go to the bottom, download the Right Way help as a PDF file. And it's so simple to do. Click there and you can download it. Simple as. This is the thing. There's the download button. And boom, we have downloaded it. Doesn't take but a minute, and it's there. So, there we go. I'm not quite sure how long we've gone on for, but I do hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it's useful for you, and that somewhere along the line I've just hit the right button for you, that you can say, right, I'm going to write that book now, and I am going to use this program to do it. As I say, it's easy to use, it's straightforward, it's free, which is, that's good these days. As I say, the registration is a little difficult just to get my head around at first, but once I'd seen what was happening, it was great. I thought once you've registered it, you then get the pay for window, but it never happened. This ended up being totally free, the professional version as well. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you don't forget to click that button at the bottom to give me support on YouTube. Thumbs up if you like it, and if you don't like it too much, or you have any comments about it, use the comments down below in YouTube. And of course, subscribe to my channel, which is Howard L. Hall at YouTube. Hopefully I'll see you again in the near future. Bye for now.